Picture the scene. A sun-drenched Swiss stadium, every seat filled, flags waving in a kaleidoscope of color, and anticipation humming in the air. It is Euro 2025, and in a single heart-stopping week, both England and Wales teams with ambitions as vast as the Alps themselves have seen their hopes shattered. For England, the reigning champions, and Wales, the determined underdogs on a meteoric rise, early elimination before the quarterfinals is more than just a sporting setback. It is a cultural earthquake, shaking not just the pitch, but also rippling through boardrooms, classrooms, and technology labs across Europe and beyond. How did we arrive at this crossroads? What does this dramatic double exit reveal about the state and the future of women's football? And could this moment of collective heartbreak be the turning point that redefines not just the sport, but also the economics, technology, and social fabric enveloping it? Today, we delve deep into the drama, the data, and the defining decisions that will influence the next generation of the beautiful game. Let's rewind the clock. The path of women's football has never been straightforward. For much of the 20th century, it was not only neglected and underfunded, it was flatly suppressed. In England, the Football Association banned women from playing on affiliated pitches from the year 1921 until 1971. That is a full half-century, where countless talented girls and women were denied a platform to shine. France did not officially recognize women's leagues until the late 1970s. And in Germany, the ban was not lifted until the year 1970. These policies left deep scars and stunted the growth of the game for generations. Jump to the present. It is now 2025, and the landscape has undergone a radical transformation. The UEFA Women's Euro is more ambitious, more visible, and more innovative than ever before. Tournament organizers have made a bold statement: record-breaking prize pools, world-class stadiums, and a full embrace of the latest technology. The final at Zurich's Letzigrund Stadium? Tickets are selling for as much as 150 Swiss francs, a price once unimaginable for women's football. Even the group stage matches boast average ticket prices of 50 Swiss francs, underscoring the sport's skyrocketing popularity. Just 10 years ago, large swaths of seats remained empty, and tickets were almost given away. Now, every match is a spectacle, every seat a coveted opportunity. But this transformation is not just for show. Behind the scenes, UEFA is spearheading an unprecedented push, a €1 billion. Yes, that's 1,000 million euros. Strategy aims to double both the fan base and the commercial power of women's football by the year 2026. In Switzerland, €5 million have been allocated specifically for grassroots development as part of the Euro's legacy plan. The Swiss Football Association is also making a dramatic wager, a 10 million Swiss franc initiative designed to double the number of registered female players by 2027. If these plans succeed, the economic impact could soar to 200 million Swiss francs, driven by ticket sales, tourism, new jobs, and expanded infrastructure. Economists estimate that every franc invested in grassroots football could return at least 3 francs in wider social and economic benefits, such as improved public health and educational attainment among girls. And technology? The pitch itself is greener and smarter than ever. Each blade of grass is tended with precision. Every pass and tackle is scrutinized by teams of data analysts. The headline innovation this year: the Connectis ball, the first at a major tournament to feature live connected ball technology. This ball transmits over 1,000 data points per second to referees, coaches, and even broadcasters, revolutionizing how we see and interpret the game. VAR decisions, once a source of endless debate, are now supported by pinpoint-accurate ball tracking, making offside and goal line calls nearly instantaneous. The difference is tangible. What once would have been a week of controversy is now resolved in seconds, with video and data evidence providing clarity for everyone, from players to fans. Yet, despite all the progress, old shadows linger. England's Lionesses, led by the widely respected Sarina Wiegman, have been the standard-bearers of European women's football since their triumph in 2022. Under Wiegman, England had never lost 2 matches in a row until now. Their defeat by the Netherlands, a squad boasting talents like Esme Bruggs, UEFA's Player of the Match, sent shockwaves not only through the team, but also among millions of fans back home. Wiegman was frank in her post-match interview: "We didn't perform to our standards. We need to be more clinical in front of goal." For Wales, the heartbreak is just as profound. The squad, anchored by the indomitable Angharad James, who just earned her 120th cap, the highest of any Welsh female player in history, faced a formidable French side. Despite moments of heroism, including a stunning defensive wall, Wales ultimately fell short. Their manager, Ian Wilkinson, did not sugarcoat the outcome. "We showed glimpses of what we're capable of, but France were too strong on the night." The French, powered by Kadiatou Diani, who made history by scoring in 3 consecutive Euros matches, a feat not seen since 2013, were relentless. This double elimination is even more striking when considered in context. Women's football is at a pivotal crossroads. The influx of investment and innovation promises a revolution. But there is an undercurrent of anxiety. Will these advances truly heal historical wounds, or merely mask them with shiny new tools? Insiders worry that as budgets ballooned and technology advances, the gap between elite clubs and the grassroots may actually widen. The risk is clear. A new era of superclubs and tech-driven development could leave smaller nations, and the dreams of countless young players trailing ever further behind. Take the Swiss example. A 10 million Swiss franc pledge to double the number of female players by 2027. It sounds transformative, but with average group stage tickets at 50 Swiss francs, many working-class families still find attendance out of reach. If this pattern is repeated across Europe, football could become more exclusive at the very moment it is becoming more prominent. Imagine a future where only the privileged can afford to play, or even to watch at the highest levels. The pyramid of opportunity, rather than broadening, narrows sharply. This is not just a Swiss issue. Across the continent, investment often flows into established clubs and urban centers, where returns are swift and visibility is high. As a result, rural communities and local academies can be left behind. The rapid adoption of technology, connected balls, data-driven training, advanced analytics brings additional costs. A well-funded club in a major city can access the latest gadgets and coaching software, while a small-town team may not even have a full-time coach or reliable equipment. For many, the digital divide risks becoming a chasm. Experts are raising their voices. Nadine Kessler, UEFA's head of women's football and a former Ballon d'Or winner, has called Euro 2025 a catalyst for long-term growth, but warns the benefits must reach every corner of the game, not just the top. Wales veteran midfielder Jess Fishlock speaks for many. "We have to learn from this experience and come back stronger." These words capture both the hope and the anxiety of the sport's new era. The pressing question: how do we turn rhetoric into real, sustainable progress? The stakes could not be higher. Choices made now will decide if women's football fulfills its promise as a force for equity and inspiration, or becomes yet another arena where the privileged thrive while the rest are left behind. Let's explore the 2 futures now facing the sport. In one scenario, the explosion of investment and technology produces a truly global, competitive landscape. Imagine leagues where teams from Scandinavia, the Balkans, the Iberian Peninsula, or even the Baltic states can challenge England, France, and Germany on equal footing. Picture a Champions League final featuring debutantes from Hungary or Poland, fueled by grassroots programs that have flourished thanks to targeted investment. In this world, every young girl, no matter her background, can see a clear pathway to the top. Technology in this world is the great equalizer. The connected ball is not just a luxury for elite clubs, but a staple in every academy. Data-driven feedback is available to players in the smallest villages. New platforms democratize scouting. A standout performance at a rural game is picked up by AI and broadcast to directors across the continent. Coaching resources are shared online, breaking down barriers and allowing the next generation of stars to rise from unexpected places. The sport becomes a true meritocracy, shaped by talent and hard work rather than geography or wealth. But the opposite scenario is equally plausible. If new money flows only to a handful of big clubs, or if advanced analytics and connected ball technology remain out of reach for smaller teams, a Super League effect could take root. The European football map becomes dominated by London, Paris, Munich, and Barcelona, while smaller clubs and national teams struggle. Popularity and revenues may rise, but so does exclusivity. Grassroots initiatives, the sport's lifeblood, could be starved of resources. As one unnamed expert put it, "We must ensure that opportunity doesn't simply become privilege." And what of the fans? With ticket prices for the final at 150 Swiss francs and group matches at 50 francs, football's new golden age risks locking out the very families whose passion built the sport. If only a select segment can afford to attend, the broad, communal spirit of football could shrink even as television audiences grow. The danger: The game becomes a spectacle for the few, not a festival for the many. So what can be done? The blueprint is clear, but not simple. First, growth must be genuinely inclusive. Selling out stadiums or securing mega sponsorships is not enough. The real test lies in whether every girl, every coach, every community can dream and achieve. This means investing in the base of the pyramid, not just the top. Free or low-cost training sessions, scholarships, safe facilities, and clear pathways from youth to professional levels. Federations should track not only revenue, but also participation rates, dropout rates, and the diversity of their talent pools. Second, technology must serve as a bridge, not a barrier. The rise of connected ball tech, wearable trackers, and AI-driven analysis must come with digital literacy programs and affordable access, especially in underserved areas. UEFA and national associations can create partnerships with tech firms to provide basic kits to every registered club, develop open-source coaching platforms, and ensure both players and staff have the digital skills they need. The objective: to level the playing field, not tilt it further. Third, policy is as crucial as investment or technology. Federations, governments, and sponsors must keep equity and opportunity at the heart of their agendas. This means enforcing minimum salary standards, ensuring safe and inclusive environments, and creating open pathways from youth to elite levels, regardless of postcode, ethnicity, or economic background. We can learn from other sports. The NBA and FIBA have made major investments in grassroots basketball in Africa and Asia, linking sport to education and social mobility. Football should follow suit. Let's examine practical steps already underway. UEFA's billion-euro strategy extends well beyond glitzy ads or signature matches. In Switzerland, 5 million euros are directed toward grassroots initiatives, new pitches in rural communities, scholarships for aspiring players, and digital training for coaches. France's federation is piloting a program to bring connected ball technology to every women's team in the top 2 divisions, with a pledge to include lower leagues within 5 years. In Germany, government grants fund after-school football for girls in more than 300 communities, tying sport to education and upward mobility. Clubs, too, are innovating. Sweden's Damallsvenskan League has created a revenue-sharing scheme that allocates a portion of broadcast and sponsorship income to youth and grassroots projects. In Spain, leading clubs have opened their training facilities for free clinics and tournaments with local girls' teams, building community ties and expanding access. These are more than warm gestures. They are strategic investments in the game's future. Yet, significant challenges remain. Even as the elite ranks grow richer and more tech-savvy, the grassroots level still faces barriers. In many countries, girls lack access to safe facilities, qualified coaches, and basic equipment. Cultural stereotypes and persistent media bias undercut progress. Social media, while amplifying women's football to a global audience, has also exposed players to unprecedented levels of scrutiny and abuse. The psychological toll can be immense, and any sustainable growth strategy must address mental health and well-being as core priorities. Let's dig deeper into the economics. Recent studies indicate that a successful Euro tournament could generate up to 200 million Swiss francs in direct and indirect benefits for Switzerland alone. This includes not just ticket sales and tourism, but also job creation in hospitality, security, media, and beyond. For every franc invested in grassroots football, the return is estimated at a minimum of 3 francs, thanks to improved health, higher educational achievement, and greater gender equity. These figures make a compelling case. Investing in women's football is not just the right thing to do. It is a smart economic move. There's an even broader social impact. When women's football flourishes, it sends a powerful message far beyond the stadium. It signals that talent, hard work, and ambition are not limited by gender. It inspires girls and boys to dream bigger, challenge the status quo, and fight for fairness in every walk of life. The visibility of female athletes at the highest level helps to break down stereotypes, shifts public attitudes, and empowers future generations. Fans, your participation is more vital than ever. Every ticket you buy, every match you attend, every message of support or call for accountability helps shape the sport's future. Demand transparency from your national federation. Support your local club, whether it is a grassroots side or a top-tier contender. Celebrate the full spectrum of stories, from global superstars to unsung heroes, within women's football. And do not underestimate your digital influence. In this era, every share, like, and comment expands the reach of the women's game. Use your platforms to champion fairness, diversity, and inclusion. Invite friends and family to experience a match, live or online. The more vibrant and engaged the community, the stronger the sport will become. Looking ahead to the next stages of Euro 2025 and beyond, the defining question remains: will this new era deliver opportunity for all, or deepen existing divides? The answer hinges on the choices we make today, by federations, clubs, policymakers, sponsors, and fans alike. If we use investment, policy, and technology wisely, this tournament could be remembered not just for its upsets, but as the moment the game truly opened up to everyone. Here is a fascinating fact. The connected ball technology at this tournament does more than aid referees. It delivers real-time insights to coaches, analysts, and even fans. Imagine a future where youth teams from Portugal's Algarve to Slovakia's Tatras all have the same data as the pros, where a girl in a remote village can analyze her passing accuracy, sprint speed, and shot power using the same tools as England's Lionesses or France's Les Bleus. That is the promise of technology, if inclusivity remains the focus. Let's consider some global parallels. In the United States, the rapid rise of the National Women's Soccer League has been underpinned by both investment and a focus on access. Scholarships, community clinics, and school partnerships have broadened the talent pool and built a robust fan base. In Australia, the Matildas' recent World Cup run inspired a surge in youth participation, with local councils investing in new facilities for girls. In Nigeria, grassroots programs funded by international NGOs are bringing football to communities that previously lacked even basic sports infrastructure, turning dreams into reality for a new generation. These examples show that progress is possible everywhere, with the right blend of vision, investment, and policy. Another critical area is mental health and player welfare. With the growth in media attention, players are more visible than ever and more vulnerable. High-profile cases in both men's and women's football have highlighted the psychological pressures of elite sport. Federations must prioritize mental health support, provide resources for counseling, and create environments where players feel safe to speak out. Building resilience off the field is as important as developing skills on it. Finally, let's not lose sight of the ripple effects. When a nation invests in women's football, it reaps rewards far beyond sporting success. Studies from Scandinavia show that girls who participate in team sports are more likely to finish school, pursue higher education, and become leaders in their communities. The visibility of female athletes challenges outdated norms and paves the way for broader gender equality, both in sport and in society. So as the story of Euro 2025 unfolds, remember, the future of women's football is being written right now, shaped by every decision, every investment, and every act of support. The question is, who will hold the pen? If you care about sport, fairness, and the power of innovation to transform lives, now is the time to get involved. Like, subscribe, and share your thoughts below. Your perspective, passion, and support matter more than ever. Together,